Hello, friends, and welcome to another video lesson from DBOS Talks. If you haven't subscribed yet, please click subscribe and click the bell so that you can be notified of new uploads. This video is in the playlist called SQL Developer Tips, and here we'll be learning how to view SQL history in SQL Developer. So, you can view SQL Developer, history, or display the history. We can learn three ways here in this short video of how to show the SQL history. The purpose of the SQL history is to see the recently used SQL commands at work. When something went wrong, goes wrong, this is one of the ways we can do in our investigation to find out what could have caused such an incident, such an occurrence. That could have had some negative impact on the database, on the performance, and such and such. Okay, so let's look at three ways. The first way to view the SQL history is via the menu. Okay, I'll put it here. So you're using SQL Developer. This is the IDE tool, Integrated Development Environment of Oracle SQL Database. And if it's the first time you're coming to this channel, I suggest you start with the very first video in this playlist so you can get a good comfort zone and understanding of the terminologies. And when we say SQL Developer, what are we talking about? All right. So the first way of displaying the SQL history is via the menu. So you will click on the View menu, which is here, and then it presents a very long menu pane, if I can call it that. But the SQL history menu option is at the very bottom. It's out of sight. You don't see it here. But anyway, you just hover your mouse all the way near the bottom, and then you will see SQL history. Okay. When you click that, it will display the SQL history panel or sheet on the lower right-hand section of your window of SQL Developer. And it gives you very important details about the SQL history, a history of SQL statements executed in recent time. Okay, so you can sort it by the SQL command itself, by the connection, database connection, timestamp, etc. So let's just go one by one on the key columns here. SQL column here refers to the SQL statement or SQL command executed. So it's not always a select statement, by the way. So because how there could be like here, wait. I saw one. There's one there which is not, see, this one is not really a select statement, it's a create statement for a function. And here is a with statement. We have an update statement here. You have a delete statement here. Okay, so it's not always a select statement, but it is an SQL statement, that's for sure. Second is connection. Connection means this one. So it gives you a bit of an information on the database connection where the SQL statement was executed. So it is not necessarily the, in my case, when you say name connection, you see here, this is just like an alias, but the real database name in Oracle is the one called SID. All right. So in my case, it so happens that the SID is the same name as the connection name, but in a real world application, in a corporate, in a working environment, it could be that these two are different. Okay, so just take a note of that. This is just a connection name. It could be anything, but this is the real database name. Okay, SID. So timestamp, of course, is the date and the time when that specific SQL statement was executed, okay, and so on. Here you have type, which could either be an SQL or sometimes here I also have here a script. Okay, let's just, yeah, here, script. So such key information are really important when you're trying to investigate what happened in recent history. So you will go through that list of SQL statements. So this is the first way of doing that via the menu. So I'll close this, and then we will learn the second way of viewing the SQL history. The second is via a function key. So in your keyboard, you have function keys there from F1 all the way to F12. So to display that, then you will just have to press the F8 function key. I'll do that right now. Okay, so you notice that it has the same effect as the first way I have shown, which is via the menu, which is View SQL History. So this one is definitely more convenient than going to that 2 steps of going to the menu, right? F8, and it gives you the same information in the same manner, right? It's just an alternative. The third way of viewing the SQL history is a little bit different. It is using a keyboard shortcut or a combination of keys, okay? Meaning more than one keyboard key being pressed. So this technique is a bit different because it lets us view one SQL statement at a time, not all of them at one go at a glance, just like the first 2 options. This one allows you only to view one SQL statement at a time in the list of the SQL history. So let's do that. While you're in SQL Developer, you will press on Control. While the Control key is held down, you press on the down arrow key. And each time you press the down arrow key, it will display one SQL statement in the list in the SQL history according to that sequence. Okay. The next way we can do this, still in the third way, we will now also do the reverse, which is Control, a combination key or a keyboard shortcut, combination of Control and the up arrow key. So while the Control key is held down, I will press on the up arrow key. So it goes in the reverse direction, navigating through that list of SQL statements used in the SQL history. All right. So there you have it. In this video, we learned 3 ways of displaying the SQL history using SQL Developer. So I'll just paste it down here. These are the 3 ways we learned. First is via the menu. Second is using a function key, F8. And the third is using keyboard shortcuts. All right. Thank you for watching and listening. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe and click the bell. Spread the word. And I'll be seeing you in the next video.